Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Adventures of one obsessed nutrition coach on a mission to create a world where food makes us better. Today, guys, I just came back from a really nice morning walk. It's somewhere around 7:30 a.m. as I'm recording this podcast episode, and every day, no matter where I am, no matter how hot, how rainy, how cold and freezing it is, every single morning I go out for a walk when the sun is out, because it's the way to wake yourself up on a cellular level. It's better, guys, than any cup of coffee when it comes to waking you up. Plus, it helps you to sleep better at night, because when you expose yourself to sunlight, to full spectrum light, getting outside for at least 10 minutes, I recommend 20 minutes, you let your body know when you get outside that this is morning, and in certain amount of hours it's going to be night and you should be getting ready for sleep. So if you want to normalize your sleeping cycle, if you want to sleep better, sleep deeper, then, and also if you want to feel happier, because it is proven that full spectrum light will improve your mood and your mental state. So if you want to improve your sleep and your mood and wake up better than from any cup of coffee, then get outside for early morning walk. Today I was especially happy because in Siberia, where I am probably for the next 3 months, hopefully after that we'll be able to travel again, and I'm planning to move to Europe for some time. But anyhow, I was really happy because here in Siberia it was plus 12 degrees centigrade and it was rainy, but it felt so nice. So finally we are not freezing, and I was just so happy that I could breathe that fresh air, exposing myself to full spectrum light and feeling the freshness of this rainy morning. It wasn't raining a lot, it was just raining a little bit just to make it extra fresh. So anyhow, guys, if it is morning, get out there, go for a walk and listen to this podcast walking. So that's my first advice for you today. So the next one, a funny story, guys. I wanted to share with you this story. When I was checking my comments on my content, my videos today, for example, I got this comment. Actually, started to get quite a few of those. You're making way too much content. Go live more often, or do this more often. And you know, guys, in this life, you gotta really know yourself and understand what you want to do, how you want to do it, and most importantly, how it fits into your life to give you peace, to give you sense of achievement, and that you are doing the work that helps people. So it's very important to understand yourself for that reason, that sometimes, yeah, you would get those people who would tell you, you should do this or that instead, or this or that. But the thing is, they think that because it's their perspective and that's what they would do very often. But what works for your life, you gotta decide that, and you gotta test that, and ultimately whatever makes you the happiest in life overall, that's what you gotta do, and not what somebody else tells you to do. And anyhow, if you are someone who thinks I'm creating too much content, then skip it sometimes, don't listen, don't watch my stuff sometimes, and then you miss it, and then you come back. So I'll be doing as much content as I have in me, and you can watch it, listen to it, and consume it in other ways as much as you want. I'm also writing quite a good blog. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback, and I've been doing it for at least 10 years. So check it out, create yourself that today. And then to another case study, to another story, hopefully something that will bring you practical value that you can use next time you decide to fast. So yesterday we did a whole episode about different kinds of fasting and why you want to fast and how not to do it. And With one of my clients, we were working through this 1 day fasting protocol, so complete fasting. She's been on a really good balanced diet for quite a while, and we are working on her lymphatic system that is in charge of removing the byproducts of cell metabolism from our body. So we are working on different protocols, and one of those we were trying out is 1 day fasting. And so she couldn't do a whole day, but she did amazing, and she just had one meal almost at the end of the day, really healthy, good meal, and happily she went to sleep. And she told me that she couldn't do it because she just was in such a bad mood. Like, she felt really negative about, pretty much everything. Plus, the energy levels, of course, were nowhere near good. And that's why she stopped. Because in her mind, in the mind of a lot of people are prepared to be hungry. They think, or I'm gonna do this fasting for 1 day, no food, and I'm gonna be hungry. But actually, you're not gonna be that much hungry. If you are in a good weight, you are not undernourished, and you have good amount of body fat, if your metabolism is not screwed up and you are not craving stuff all the time, so metabolically you are not pre-diabetic, diabetic with hyperglycemia or hyper. So if you don't have any of those conditions, fasting, when it comes to hunger, it should be comfortable for most of you. You might get hungry around your meal times, but usually after, especially somewhere 3-4 p.m., your physical hunger completely goes away for the time being. But what doesn't go away for a lot of people, unless you've been on a keto diet or you've been doing quite a lot of fasting. So what doesn't go away is bad mood. Because, well, first of all, your brain is deprived of energy and it's not used to that. And it doesn't have its energy supply as your brain is used to. So you're gonna feel cranky because the brain gonna start sending you signals that, motherfucker, where is my sugar? Where is my fuel? So what's happening? Get out there and get some food. So your feel-good hormones and neurotransmitters like serotonin or dopamine, they're not going to be released. So you're not going to be feeling too good because of that either. Then your body will start, in normal circumstances, burn body fat to provide your brain with the fuel it needs. And while burning your fat, there might be some toxic substances that our bodies usually store in our fat tissue. Those toxic substances can be released in your bloodstream. And that's why you also might not be feeling too good, because when there are toxic substances released into our blood or even into our colon, we're not gonna be feeling good at the moment until it is all removed, either by sweating or by colon or by peeing it out. So you're gonna go through those bad moods periods. And from my experience, guys, from my personal experience, now I know that I'm not going to be in a good mood if I do 1 day of fasting. And I accept it as normal. So when I'm not in good mood, I just keep doing what I'm doing. Usually, I always tell people to keep yourself busy, but not with some high intensity or high demanding activities, or activities where your mood matters, where you gotta show up your best, most energetic, most optimistic self. Like this, the time when you decide to do a whole day fasting or more, that should be a more or less busy day, but the activities should be low energy, low intensity, and you shouldn't be planning anything that requires you to show up your full self mentally and emotionally and physically. So bad mood when you fast, it's okay. That's a part of the process. And usually, once you understand that it's a part of the process and you know what to expect, and you know that, when you have bad mood, then maybe you start reading some book that you love. Maybe listen to some optimistic music or some dancing music, like some salsa music for me, or Brazilian music. Maybe you take a nap. Maybe go for a walk. But definitely also don't connect with people who tend to have negative moods. They're just gonna make you super cranky, and you're not gonna like yourself, leave alone the person who you're talking to. So yeah, bad mood is a part of fasting process. And also, what is a part of it is sometimes some people might feel dizzy, lightheaded, your blood pressure might be all over the place. So I always recommend adding some salt to your water if you experience dizziness and lightheadedness. I also recommend to get some electrolytes in your system, some magnesium, some potassium especially. Those will improve your mood and how you feel physically. But you want to remember that bad mood, for so many reasons, is part of the process, part of fasting. And actually, that's why most people find it challenging. They just don't like to be in a bad mood. And that's why a lot of people give in, unless, of course, you are somebody who have blood sugar irregularities, blood sugar disorders, again, maybe pre-diabetes or hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia. If your body doesn't know how to burn fat effectively and you're usually on high carb diet, you're gonna feel those bad mood swings for sure, and they're gonna be quite big. But physically, it should be fine for most more or less healthy adults with good body weight. So you do need some body fat. If you are super lean, fasting even for a day is going to be so much harder because, well, your body doesn't have much energy to burn and your brain will be really not happy about that. So that's when it comes to fasting. If you have any questions, guys, by the way, always feel free to reach out on any of my social media via Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, my email, or anywhere you can, wherever you find me. The next one, how things are made. Today, in the morning, early morning, my family is pretty early type of family. Right now I'm staying with my parents, and so we started talking with my mom about canned cod liver, and we started talking about how it's made and why sometimes you buy it and it's really delicious and tasty and the soft and really amazing on the tongue, like the texture and mouth feel. It's like rich, almost like chocolate, not by taste but by mouthfeel. And we were talking about how it's made and again why sometimes it's so nice and sometimes it's just really bitter and has this metallic aftertaste and really doesn't have that nice texture. So and then I started doing some research and we realized that some of the cod liver was canned from fresh fish. It was taken out of cooled down but not frozen fresh fish, and it was put in the can, and then it went through the process of canning. And then some fish, they freeze it first, they transport that fish, and only then they extract the liver and put it in the can and do the canning. And that process, it doesn't only influence the texture and the mouthfeel and the taste, but it also influences a lot where and how much of the vitamins A, D, E, K, omega-3 fatty acids, how much of those are preserved in the liver itself in the best way, so meaning they're the most stable, the most in the most pristine state compared to when it was frozen, taken out, and then put into a can. So that process actually destroys some of the vitamins A, D, E, K, and then some of the omega-3 fatty acids, or some of them might also, a lot of them might leak into the liquid, into the fat itself that's going to be in the can where it was put. And that's why, guys, you always want to make sure that at the basic level, the foods that you eat, you know how they were made. For example, if you're buying frozen vegetables, was it shock freezing, what they call, basically really fast freezing that preserve the most vitamins and minerals, or it was, laying somewhere on the shelf and then it was somehow frozen in a different way, not so fast, and that's why a lot of vitamins and minerals were lost. With that, also a lot of taste and texture is more mushy. You always want to know how your food that you consume on a regular basis is made, and also how to cook it the best to preserve the most nutrients. Because, for example, fresh spinach might has a lot of vitamin K, might has quite a lot of folate also, but when we freeze it and cook it, it's gonna lose quite a lot of it. That's why, for example, frozen spinach for vitamin K and folate, I never considered my best resource of that. I eat spinach for vitamin A, but then also just to get extra. I also eat spinach because it has nice flavor, it has fiber, it has antioxidants, and some of them are preserved. But because most of my spinach that I can find here right now is frozen, I don't consider my spinach, because of my knowledge, because I know how much it loses, my main source of folate, for example, and I make sure to eat liver for that purpose. Also for vitamin A, I eat liver. So you always want to make sure that you know how to eat your food to get those nutrients that they say this food has. Because again, fresh spinach, for example, and frozen spinach, completely two different animals when it comes to nutrients, because one preserves most of them and one loses most of them. That's why we were talking about liver, how it's made and why it has different taste, and as I found out, it has different nutrition profile too. Another thing, guys, that I wanted to talk to you today about is a new project, a new thing that I'm doing, starting while this coronavirus quarantine time is continuing and we stay at home. Most of us stay at home much more often, and we cook a lot at home. So every Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, I'm doing Instagram or Zoom, but you can always reach out on Instagram to me if I'm doing Zoom. I'm gonna give you the link. So on Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, New York time, I'm doing my short breakfast cooking. So sometimes I'm gonna share with you my favorite coffee recipe that will give you energy boost for long to get through the work you need to get through without thinking about food and at the same burning your own fats efficiently and effectively. Sometimes I will tell you my favorite mini meal or snack or food on the go that sometimes replaces my whole meal when I don't have the time or opportunity to cook full meal. Sometimes I will just share some new and exciting information coming from nutrition and health world while drinking our Wednesday morning coffee in the middle of the week. And then also every Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Eastern, I'm doing Zoom cooking, where I'm going to share with you more substantial recipes that will provide you some hard to find or essential nutrients, or some nutrients that a lot of people are deficient in. So I'm gonna take a few basic simple recipes, a few simple foods, and together with you I'm gonna be cooking it, being in Zoom online and live, and I try to use the best angles to show you everything, how it's done, why it's done, and what kind of nutrients you can get from those foods. And then you can adjust those recipes depending on what you have in your kitchen, what you stocked up on, to feed yourself, to feed your family essential nutrients that our immune system might need. And also we'll chat. You can ask me any questions. So it's gonna be a really fun thing I'm gonna be doing for now. Not sure for how long. So 10:30 a.m. every Sunday. We're going to be cooking some dinner recipes, sometimes breakfast, sometimes lunch, sometimes some dessert recipes, healthy of course, and sugar and dairy free, because that's what I eat and that's what you're going to be eating if you decide to cook with me. So Wednesday 8:30 a.m. and Sunday 10:30 a.m. So Wednesday probably going to be Instagram live 8:30 a.m. and then Sunday Zoom 10:30 a.m. Eastern. That's it for today, guys. I hope you found this episode useful and it made you think about your food deeper and make better choices, make better decisions, and be more inquisitive about nutrition properties of different foods that you eat, and also how you might cook it, store it, freeze it or not freeze it, how you can eat it the best to preserve the most nutrients that you want to be getting from that food. Don't forget, guys, that fasting, if you decide to fast, bad mood is a part of it, especially if you do 1 day fast. If you do many day fasting, for example, 3, 5, 7, then usually bad mood more or less goes away, but the energy will fluctuate, of course, a lot, and your hunger will come and go. It's not like you will lose interest in food. But anyhow, bad mood for fasting, especially if you haven't been fasting often, it's a part of the process, and just accept it and you can get through it because it's just 1 day. The most important thing is not to schedule anything essential that requires you to show up your best mentally and physically and emotionally, and you're gonna be just fine. And if you think that I am making too much content, then skip one once in a while. It's not forbidden, and you can choose how to spend your time. I'm not going to be mad at you. So thank you guys for listening, for tuning in. Send me in more questions. Tomorrow, by the way, guys, the whole episode is going to be dedicated to answering your questions on different subjects all over the place about nutrition, health, fasting, and weight loss, and building muscle, and keto, and macros, and whatever questions I choose. And there are many. I haven't been answering questions for quite a while. So stay tuned for tomorrow's episode. Share this episode with anyone who needs to listen to something more light and fun about food and nutrition, but also practical and useful. And guys, don't forget to show up for our light breakfast Wednesday, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, and Sunday, 10:30 a.m. on Zoom for our cooking with Angela, your obsessed nutrition coach. So I hope to see you there. And as usual, guys, today, till our next time, till tomorrow, eat better daily. Oh, hey guys, don't forget, don't miss it. Today on my Instagram, I'll be cooking some canned cod liver with some orange sauce. So check it out. It's gonna be fun, colorful, and delicious.